Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be conducting an interview with Dunning-Kruger specialist Flat Earth Dork. Flat Earth Dork claims to know everything about everything, but Flat Earth Dork is a fucking idiot who knows nothing about nothing. So let's begin. Well, hello Flat Earth Dork. Let me first start by saying thank you for coming on to be interviewed today. I'm sure everyone is dying to learn why you think the Earth is flat. So first, let me ask you, how long have you been a Flat Earth idiot?
It's been a good 4 years now since I've been researching the cosmology of our Earth, where we live.
Wow, so it's been a whole 4 years that you've been doing cosmological research. Not to be pissing in your Cheerios or anything, but you do know that cosmological physicists go to school for 8 years or more and focus their studies in this specific scientific arena. So what about observational reality can you disprove with your 4 years of YouTube college that has been accepted as fact by scientists with 8 years of college education?
Its shape, its nature, physics, experiments, science, real science.
Well, let me stop you right there, because you're a fucking idiot if you think your basic study of bullshit science trumps a physicist's understanding of the natural laws of the universe. Most STEM field scientists go to school for many years and do extensive research and testing to validate the principles they are taught in school. It's hardly a blind belief. But maybe you're not just a dumbass. Would you care to give us an insight on where you get your knowledge from?
I've read everything. I've read Newton's Principia.
Yeah, but reading words in a book and understanding the context are two completely different things. And how could you read Newton's Principia Mathematica and come to the conclusion that the physics is wrong and the Earth is flat? Anyone who derives those assertions from that publication is a fucking idiot. So other than the books that describe gravity and laws of motion, what other scientific publications have you read?
I've read all of Einstein's bullshit.
Now calm down, Flat Earth Dork. I know science intimidates you, but only a fucking idiot would consider Einstein's writings as bullshit. As with every scientist, there are times when you will be proven wrong, as Einstein was on several occasions. However, his theories regarding general and special relativity, as well as his theories on light propagation and the photoelectric effect, stand tried and true to this day and pass scrutiny under every experiment. So much so that communication and navigation satellites that humans use every day wouldn't function properly without taking into account the predictions made by his theories. So are there any other scientists who you think have theories that point to a flat Earth?
Tesla. I've listened to people like Eric Dollard, Ken Wheeler on magnetism, the secrets of magnetism.
I'm sorry, Flat Earth Dork, but you're a fucking idiot. You do know that all three of those scientists believe the Earth is a globe, yet you think you can hijack their education and form your own conclusions that contradict their beliefs. You are a classic example of someone suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect, a psychological condition that exists in people who think they are well educated given a basic understanding of a topic, who are in fact almost always ignorant of the intricacies of the topic. Because it only takes a minimal knowledge to boost the confidence of one's understanding of a subject, Dunning-Kruger idiots typically think they are experts in multiple areas of study. Flat Earth Dork, care to list a few areas of your expertise?
Particle physics, quantum physics, orbital mechanics, mass attraction, Big Bang theories, gravity, anti-gravity, elements, astrology, astronomy, cosmology, cartography, and on and on and on.
And you are a fucking idiot. There is no way you can be an expert in all those fields of study. Even if you were smart enough to grasp the concepts, you wouldn't have enough time to study all the material. This graph here shows the Dunning-Kruger effect on a knowledge versus confidence scale. As you can see, the areas where confidence on a subject is highest is located in two primary locations, when knowledge and experience is minimal and maximum. Since we have already ruled out that you are an expert in all these fields, we must consider the more realistic possibility that you have a very minimal knowledge base on many different topics, resulting in extreme confidence in your limited understanding. Flat Earth Dork, you reside at the peak of Mount Idiot in all areas you claim to be an expert in. But just out of curiosity, where do you get all your information from?
Not just watch YouTube videos, although there's nothing wrong with YouTube videos. I've seen thousands of them.
Well, I would have to say that watching thousands of YouTube videos is not the most efficient way to educate yourself. Half the time, it's the blind leading the blind. And if you're not already educated enough to understand the fundamental principles of a subject, then it is easy to draw false conclusions from the more advanced concepts. For instance, flat earth idiots like to quote the Michelson-Morley experiment as proof that the earth is not flying through space, when the experiment was designed to detect the motion of the ether, not the earth. It is easy to draw an incorrect conclusion from the Michelson-Morley experiments without knowledge of Einstein's theory of special relativity. I hope you are getting this, Flat Earth Dork. Can you name me one thing that globe earthers typically misunderstand?
Coriolis effect. Water spinning in different hemispheres, which is total bullshit. I've done the experiments myself there. In the same house. Different sinks, different tubs. Water spins different directions in the very same house. It has nothing to do with Coriolis.
I knew you had a modicum of intelligence in that weed-saturated mind of yours. You are correct. Many globe earthers try to use Coriolis effect to explain things that aren't necessarily induced by this effect. They will say things that involve the spinning of toilet water going in opposite directions depending upon which side of the equator you're on. And while the Coriolis effect does affect the toilet water, the direction of spin is primarily a result of the shape of the basin and the initial forces present when the water begins to drain. The Coriolis effect is more widely seen in weather systems that rotate in opposite directions on opposite sides of the equator. This effect is evidence that the Earth is spinning and that the lateral speeds of the spinning Earth decrease as you get further away from the equator. The only shape that conforms to these observations is a rotating sphere. So while Flat Earth Dork is wrong about the Coriolis effect not existing, she is right about toilet water. What other observations do you make?
I've watched the stars and the moon and eclipses, solar and lunar. Filmed them.
Whoa, wait. Flat Earth Dork, did you really just say filmed them? Not to mention that everything you claim to have filmed is proof of a large spherical Earth. You are a fucking idiot.
You can watch them. I watch rainbows. I watch clouds. I sun gaze.
Oh my god. Flat Earth Dork, don't stare at the fucking sun. It can do permanent damage to your eyes, you fucking idiot. And clouds and rainbows? What kind of cockamamie bullshit are you about to come up with regarding clouds and rainbows?
I take into account, I observe, and take into account what I see. I know about magnetism, about magnification on the horizon.
What the fuck does magnification and magnetism have to do with observing clouds and rainbows?
I know about perspective and artist's perspective. How our eyes work.
So on top of being an expert in cosmology, particle physics, quantum physics, and magnetism, you are now an expert in the field of anatomy and optometry. Well, I'm calling bullshit on your claim that you understand how our eyes work, because if you did understand how the human eye worked, then you wouldn't be staring at the fucking sun, you fucking idiot.
When people say, well, you just don't understand how it works. No, really, I've studied and researched things that nobody knows how they work.
What a bold fucking claim made by such a simpleton idiot. How is it that you know how they work when no one else in the world does? Who gave you the knowledge to know whether you are even right?
I've talked to people on the streets and scientists and very intelligent people.
So your knowledge base comes from thousands of hours on YouTube and conversations with homeless street scientists who are quote-unquote intelligent. Flat Earth Dork, do you even know what intelligence is?
And by intelligence, I mean the ability to decipher truth from lies. That's intelligence.
Well, not really. Intelligence is generally defined as the ability to acquire knowledge. I personally define intelligence as the ability to use information around you to build predictive models. Flat Earth Dork, with all the observations and information around you, you still believe the Earth is flat. You have the equivalent intelligence of a fucking idiot.
You might be educated and gone to college. I don't care how many years you've gone to college.
You know, I never could quite understand why flat earthers are so offended by educated people. Like it's our fault that you thought the 9th grade was the pinnacle of your education. The only difference between going to college to get your education and watching thousands of videos on YouTube is the quality of the information you receive. College courses in the STEM fields tend to build off of one another. In other words, it would be almost impossible to grasp the concepts of quantum electrodynamics 3 without first completing QED 1 and 2 first. When trying to build your knowledge base off YouTube videos, you are limited to your current understanding and the knowledge presented by the creator of the video, making it much easier for idiots like you to misunderstand and ultimately misapply the information to establish your faulty worldview. What would you say is the hardest part about being a flat earther?
It's destroyed relationships. My children won't even talk to me. They think I'm joking about the flat earth.
I can understand why they think you're joking, because the first time I heard someone say that the earth was flat and stationary, first thing I thought was, no fucking way, followed by, you're a fucking idiot, and then...
Friends of mine have said they're embarrassed to introduce me to their other friends because I believe the earth is flat.
I highly doubt the reason they don't introduce you to their other friends is simply because you believe the earth is flat. It's more likely because you feel you have an obligation to tell every person you meet about the flat earth, and your friends don't want to be associated with an idiot.
And I don't believe anything. I know that this is a level plane. Our physical reality proves it.
Unfortunately for you and your social life, our physical reality is actually based on the globe Earth model, unless you have some new magical evidence that points only towards the Earth being flat. So Flat Earth Dork, what's your evidence that the Earth is flat?
The nature of water, fluid dynamics.
Wrong again, idiot. While water does adhere to fluid dynamics, the nature of water is completely consistent with the globe Earth model. It's attracted towards the center of mass and bends around the surface while remaining level at the same time. Next piece of evidence.
There's no motion detected.
Didn't you say at the beginning of the interview that you read Newton's Principia? You should know that no perceived motion only indicates that we are not accelerating, not that the Earth is stationary. You're just strengthening my assertion that no matter how much research you have done, you understand hardly any of it. Flat Earth Dork, you're an idiot.
I mean, this is the biggest challenge. This is where it started for me, was somebody said, you know, is this picture of the Earth, this ball picture that we see on everything, movies and on your iPhones and in just everywhere, magazines, science magazines. Is this picture a photo?
Fucking how high are you? Yes, a picture of Earth from space is in fact a photo, and Flat Earth Dork is in fact a fucking idiot.
Is it actually a photo from space of what the Earth looks like?
The blue marble photo was taken during the Apollo 17 mission in 1972 and is a complete photo of the Earth from beyond low Earth orbit.
So that's really one of the first things I looked into, and sure enough, you can go on any space agency website, look up their photographs of Earth from space, run them through forensic programs like Forensically or even Photoshop, change the gamma, correct the lighting, play around. You will find that they are all computer graphic images, CGI.
Except that the blue marble photo was taken in 1972, which is pre-Photoshop and CGI. At the time this photo was taken, the technology to fake it did not exist, and the anomalies you find when processing the pictures in Photoshop are typically exposure anomalies. These anomalies existed so that single pieces of film could be exposed for different amounts of time, to show details that would not normally be shown with a single exposure time. While it is considered an archaic technique today, it was effective in the 1970s and is easily detected using Photoshop. But flat earthers believe anything is possible, including futuristic Photoshop-capable computers in the 1970s, as long as it supports their false narrative. But flat earthers are fucking idiots. So I think that will be the end of this interview, as Flat Earth Dork offers nothing of value to any intellectual conversation. In fact, if David Dunning and Justin Kruger met and by some miracle they had a baby, it would be Flat Earth Dork, because Flat Earth Dork is a fucking idiot. Now I'd like to take the time out to thank Flat Earth Dork for not wearing that ugly ass tie-dyed t-shirt hanging up in the background. It's bad enough that she showers with her own urine, but wearing that shirt would be considered criminal. I'm Father Skeptic, and I'm out.